Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel. Movie Story Recapped. Today, I am going to explain an episode from an American adult animated anthology, Love, Death and Robots, called The Drowned Giant. Spoilers ahead. Watch out. And take care. At the beginning of the episode, 3 scientists are shown walking towards the beach. This story about the dead giant will be told to us by one of Steven's men. Steven is also a scientist. The day before yesterday, there was a massive storm in this sea. As a result, a dead giant washed up on the beach, and the fishermen were taken aback when they saw the giant. They notify the police, but no one believes them. As the people visit the beach, they have only giant stories to tell. The scientist decides themselves to visit the beach. They were watching the giant in front of them. They have heard many times about it. There were a lot of people who came to see the giant. None was touching him. Everyone was scared of him. Steven and his men estimate his weight to be around 80 tons. Steven claims that assuming a giant's age is extremely difficult. Steven says while seeing his nose and eyes he is a young giant. The scientists were researching while standing near the giant's body. During this, Steven goes near that giant's hand. It was looking like a pond. His hand was so big that it appears to be a pond after the water collects in it. Small fishes were swimming in it. Steven says the most shocking thing, more than the size of the giant, is that these giants still exist. They compare the people standing on the beach with the giant. They are incomplete copies of the giant. Steven was shocked after seeing them. Meanwhile, his colleague goes upside the giant. She informs the people present that he is safe. Hearing it, they all get on the body of the giant. They become happy after doing this. Someone was having a good time bouncing on the giant's body. Steven doesn't touch it, not even goes on it. On the other hand, his colleagues were making notes about the giant. The number of people who played with the giant was dwindling over time, because everyone was going to their homes. Steven again comes here after 3 days. His interest has enhanced in that giant. He claims he is not facing any problem while keeping an eye on the monster. The giant seemed to be more alive than the people around him. He notices some kids were sliding on the giant. Some people were preparing to cut this giant. He decides to stop late near the giant, so there will be none near giant. Coming near the giant, he notices that giant is decaying. His body parts were looking strange. He notices a girl on that giant's ear. She was using the giant's ear as a chair. Steven notices the giant's youthful look is disappearing. Now he is not looking young. He indicates for staying for a long time in the sea. His tissues were damaged. Due to it, his body was damaged. Steven notices an insect on that giant's face. It was going inside his mouth. Steven was thinking the giant will be decayed before the insect arrives. Steven goes in the giant with courage. After getting on the chest of the giant, he was seeing giant's arm. It was totally decayed. The other parts were being eaten by the insects and birds. Here, a weird thing covers his eyes. It was giving a pond's look to his eyes. Steven thinks while seeing his shadow in his eyes. The pain being decayed is less than the pain which the loneliness gave him. Then he leaves. The next day, Steven sees the giant's arms and legs were decayed. Now he was staring at his body. The giant's body was being insulted. There was none other than the humans who were insulting him. Even the giant was also a human-like creature. The next day, reaching the giant, he notices the giant's head is also removed. The birds and insects are eating the giant. Without a head, his body wasn't looking like humans. With it, Steven's relationship with the giant deteriorated. That was made by the dead body. Then he didn't come to the beach for some days. After some weeks, when he comes to the beach, seeing it, he gets shocked. The giant is completely depleted. There is only left the decayed gird of the giant. Now they all lose interest in the giant. The people forget the entry of the giant after some months. There were the different parts of the giant as decoration. Pieces everywhere. One day, while cycling, Stephen notices the skull of the giant in the ground. He believes that if he searches, he will also find the eyes and nose bones. According to Stephen, the decoration pieces were well made by the giant's bones. Then the memories that are in Stephen's mind. Some of the body parts of the giant were also placed in the circus. The scientist says the one who has seen the giant, they consider him the monster who was dead. For him, the giant was still alive. In his dreams, he frequently sees the giant departing his city. To go back to the sea, he was collecting his body parts from the city. This movie gives us a deep message. How does a human enter other people's lives and leave an impression on them? He teaches the people and learns from the people. When he leaves the world, the people forget him. Even days, months and years passed, none remembers him. In the same way, we saw in this movie how a giant arrived and attracted others. Then something happened, and no one remembers him after days, months, and years have passed. Actually, this is the bitter truth of human life. The people remember a human till he remains alive. If the human dies after some days, the people forget him. Thanks for watching.